You know, Web3 projects, by their very nature, are just a little bit different from anything else on the web today. And there are a lot of reasons for that, some of which we're going to get into in just a minute. But you need to first understand that all of the differences here have led us to a situation where this thing called a white paper is super important to any Web3 project's growth, NFTs, platforms, whatever it is. So today, I'm going to walk you through what a white paper is and how to start creating your own right now. My name is Trent Kennelly. I'm a Web3 marketing strategist, and this is the best place for you to learn about Web3, NFTs, and how to market it all. So if that sounds good to you and you're excited, make sure that you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, comment to let me know what you're working on right now and what you're stuck with on this process for a white paper. I would love to be able to help you out. But until then, let's get started. Okay, so first, what really is a white paper? The name white paper seems to evoke feelings of total boredom and disinterest, right? But actually, it kind of is the most fascinating decentralized thing in the entire Web3 space. So like always, let's just go for a little history lesson before we really get started here. And let's pretend that you're a Web2 entrepreneur trying to build an e-commerce business selling whatever. Dog food, because I always talk about dog food, I guess. Whatever you want to say, okay? What do you need if you want to grow fast? You need investors, right? To get investors, you need to take a trip down Sand Hill Road in Silicon Valley or go on Shark Tank and pitch every venture capital firm along the way, just hoping to get one that wants to invest in you, right? But what are you going to bring to those meetings that's going to convince them that you're worth investing in? I promise it isn't your winning personality. No, you need to bring a business plan. That plan shows investors what you stand for, what you bring to the table, and why they should invest in you. They're either going to make the decision to invest in you or not, based in very large part on the business plan that you have put together. So let's bring this back to Web3 now.
Can we go back to the point now?
And there are a few things that we know unequivocally about Web3. It's highly decentralized and it's more focused on community than businesses in the past have been. So what that means is that where in the past venture capital has always kind of been this place to drive funding and build your business faster, that might not still be the case. In fact, if you can convince enough people, crowdfunding in a Web3 environment can absolutely be a better way to go. But how do we get those people who are already thinking about potentially investing in you, how do we get them the maximum amount of information? We use a white paper. So at the end of the day, what is a white paper? It's a business plan, it's a technical layout, and it's a promotional document, and all of those things in one at the same time. Cool, makes sense, right? So let's finally get to the meat of this thing. How do we create something great? Well, even though this is a combination of all of those things that we just talked about, it still is probably in your best interest to think of this first and foremost as a business plan, which means that we need to break this out into several of the parts of a business plan, and the parts that I think we need to break it out into are as follows: your purpose and the problem you're solving, details about the project, the marketing plan, and the roadmap. So to start, let's be really clear about the purpose here. Again, this is many things all piled into one, which means that you need to do a lot of different things at the same time. You need to engage readers so that they stay interested. You need to clearly show the value proposition, and you need to give all those technical details that serious investors are going to be considering. This is a pretty tall order for a white paper, but I want to just calm your nerves a little bit here. The people who are reading your white paper are already the most interested and primed to invest group of people. So getting them to read more in depth isn't going to be as challenging at this phase as it might be if someone was just coming across the street and just happened to catch their eye on something in your white paper, or somebody who's just scrolling Facebook and sees an ad for something, then they click on it, right? You don't have that same flighty attention. But that said, you're still going to lose them if you don't convince them that they want to be involved and do that in a relatively efficient fashion, okay? So that's where two big things really come into play. You have to first understand your goal of your project, and you need to show a really deep understanding of what you're trying to accomplish. So let's talk about understanding your goal first. You need to have a clear mission plan here. If you can't specifically articulate what you're doing and why you're doing it, then it's going to be impossible to get others on board. So for example, let's look at the Web3 tool called Well, because they did a great job here of explaining their purpose. In just a few sentences, they explain what the problem they see is, that it's a lack of recognition for people engaging in healthy activity. And then they go on to say that they want to provide crypto to people simply for putting their steps in every day. And that's it. If they couldn't articulate things in that simple form, frankly, they would never pull people in that want to work with them. And then when it comes to research, you need to show readers that you know what the hell you're talking about, right? People in this space are smart and they're technical. You need to be able to make a case that your project is going to get them their desired outcome. But to be able to show that, you have to be willing and able to put the work in. Going back to Well for a second, as you look through their white paper, they take time to show how their blockchain is different and why it's better for their use case. The amount of information that they provide users shows that they not only understand the space very well, but they've deeply researched and tested to find the best way to execute their vision. But let's also be clear that you don't want to overload readers with information or technical data. Just because users in the Web3 space are more technical, it doesn't mean that information isn't all the same very overwhelming. Some people are still very much more technical than others, right? And even though Web3 people in general are pretty sophisticated right now, it doesn't mean that they're all going to want to sift through hours and hours of documentation to figure out what you're trying to show them. Keep things simple and easy to digest to draw the maximum number of people to your door. Next, you want to talk about your marketing plan. So the people investing in you want to know that you're going beyond them as the people who are giving you money to actually make this project great, right? They want to see that you have a plan, and they aren't expecting something super granular like a social media posting schedule or a paid ads budget or something like that. But if you can show potential investors that you have a plan for how to target specific groups of people, how you're going to drive more interest, what platforms you're thinking of using, what kind of groups you're actually looking at, that is going to drive more interest. So let's look at Hoku, H-O-Q-U, for a good example here. So this is a new age affiliate marketing platform. So I would hope that they would have a marketing plan in their white paper. What you're going to notice is that they don't spend an enormous amount of real estate on marketing, but they do talk about target markets, the way they've seen this be successful in the past, and the chops of their marketing team to get this done. Honestly, that's all it takes. Show them you're thinking about it, and that will drive greater interest. And the last really important thing to talk about is the projections and your roadmap. Now, in a traditional business plan, in the balance of projections versus roadmap, we would probably be looking more at the projections, financial projections, etc. But in Web3, we're going to flip that. There have been a lot of problems with rug pulls in the past, especially with NFTs. Rug pull, just so we're clear, is when somebody makes a lot of promises about their project, and then they get all the initial investment money and they just kind of run with it.
Let's get out of here.
That happens a lot in NFTs where you'll see somebody say, oh yeah, we have this utility and there's going to be like free visits to VIP bars and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden they don't actually do any of that. They just get their money and then they leave, right? So that's a rug pull. Not a cool practice, but it does happen from time to time. Now, people watching my videos would obviously never do that, I know, but the bad taste is still there in the mouths of the Web3 community more generally. So it's important to show readers the specific things that you have planned. This can be as simple as a timeline. I mean, you probably already have a lot of future plans past this initial deployment of the thing, right? So just tell people about them. Explain what you're going to do, why, and how long until implementation that you expect, right? This shows people that you're motivated, and it comforts them a bit more that they won't be left with empty pockets. And one little bonus here, make sure that you always have a way for them to contact you. So you need to add that to your white paper, some way for them to get in touch. That means social media, Discord, whatever. Whether you've launched or not, you want to make sure that people are in this investment cycle, because there's always this consideration phase. Nobody is just going to show up on day one and click 2 minutes after they learn about you to invest some money. It just doesn't happen, okay? So you want to stay top of mind. And the only way that it's going to happen is to get them on a platform where you can continue to talk to them going forward. So that's Discord or Twitter or email or whatever it is, something where people can be communicated at from you, right? And they can interact. That's always a very good thing as well. You can watch this video on Discord interaction and communities and all that sort of stuff. But this also has the added benefit of increasing that confidence that it's not a rug pull, because you're continuing to communicate with people and show them that you are passionate about this project and not just the money they're about to invest. So there you go. There's your quick and dirty guide to white papers. There's a lot to consider, and in some ways this just kind of scratches the surface to everything that kind of needs to go into it. But I am so sure that this is going to get you started in the right direction. So let me know what your project is, where you're stuck on this process. I would love to help you out. Otherwise, make sure you like this video, subscribe to my channel if you're into it, and I will catch you in the next one.